Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation, Aging Gracefully. As we move through life, our bodies and minds undergo various changes. While aging is inevitable, how we age is largely depending on us. This presentation, titled Aging Gracefully from Head to Toe and Avoiding Death, will guide you through key strategies to enhancing both longevity and quality of life. We'll explore topics ranging from foot health, which is often overlooked but critically important, to the impact of lifestyle modification on brain health, the role of exercise in preventing chronic diseases, and practical ways of reducing the four horsemen. Attia identifies these are the main killers of humans: cardiovascular diseases, neurodegenerative diseases, cancer, and metabolic diseases. And the fifth one is accidents. Accidents happen to everyone, and how can we avoid some of these accidents? So how to begin this journey towards gracefully aging, where every step is a step towards a better and longer, more fulfilling life. Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation, Aging Gracefully. As we move through life, our bodies and minds undergo various changes. While aging is inevitable, how we age is largely depending on us. This presentation, titled Aging Gracefully from Head to Toe and Avoiding Death, will guide you through key strategies to enhancing both longevity and quality of life. We'll explore topics ranging from foot health, which is often overlooked but critically important, to the impact of lifestyle modification on brain health, the role of exercise in preventing chronic diseases, and practical ways of reducing the four horsemen. Attia identifies these are the main killers of humans: cardiovascular diseases, neurodegenerative diseases, cancer, and metabolic diseases. And the fifth one is accidents. Accidents happen to everyone, and how can we avoid some of these accidents? So how to begin this journey towards gracefully aging, where every step is a step towards a better and longer, more fulfilling life. Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation, Aging Gracefully. As we move through life, our bodies and minds undergo various changes. While aging is inevitable, how we age is largely depending on us. This presentation, titled Aging Gracefully from Head to Toe and Avoiding Death, will guide you through key strategies to enhancing both longevity and quality of life. We'll explore topics ranging from foot health, which is often overlooked but critically important, to the impact of lifestyle modification on brain health, the role of exercise in preventing chronic diseases, and practical ways of reducing the four horsemen. Attia identifies these are the main killers of humans: cardiovascular diseases, neurodegenerative diseases, cancer, and metabolic diseases. And the fifth one is accidents. Accidents happen to everyone, and how can we avoid some of these accidents? So how to begin this journey towards gracefully aging, where every step is a step towards a better and longer, more fulfilling life. Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation, Aging Gracefully. As we move through life, our bodies and minds undergo various changes. While aging is inevitable, how we age is largely depending on us. This presentation, titled Aging Gracefully from Head to Toe and Avoiding Death, will guide you through key strategies to enhancing both longevity and quality of life. We'll explore topics ranging from foot health, which is often overlooked but critically important, to the impact of lifestyle modification on brain health, the role of exercise in preventing chronic diseases, and practical ways of reducing the four horsemen. Attia identifies these are the main killers of humans: cardiovascular diseases, neurodegenerative diseases, cancer, and metabolic diseases. And the fifth one is accidents. Accidents happen to everyone, and how can we avoid some of these accidents? So how to begin this journey towards gracefully aging, where every step is a step towards a better and longer, more fulfilling life. Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation, Aging Gracefully. As we move through life, our bodies and minds undergo various changes. While aging is inevitable, how we age is largely depending on us. This presentation, titled Aging Gracefully from Head to Toe and Avoiding Death, will guide you through key strategies to enhancing both longevity and quality of life. We'll explore topics ranging from foot health, which is often overlooked but critically important, to the impact of lifestyle modification on brain health, the role of exercise in preventing chronic diseases, and practical ways of reducing the four horsemen. Peter Attia identifies these are the main killers of humans: cardiovascular diseases, neurodegenerative diseases, cancer, and metabolic diseases. And the fifth one is accidents. Accidents happen to everyone, and how can we avoid some of these accidents? So how to begin this journey towards gracefully aging, where every step is a step towards a better and longer, more fulfilling life. Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation, Aging Gracefully. As we move through life, our bodies and minds undergo various changes. While aging is inevitable, how we age is largely depending on us. This presentation, titled Aging Gracefully from Head to Toe and Avoiding Death, will guide you through key strategies to enhancing both longevity and quality of life. We'll explore topics ranging from by now, everyone probably is familiar and had saw this all before. Just so a brief summary, I was born and raised on a dairy farm in western Wisconsin. I lived on the farm while I went to the University of Wisconsin River Falls to get my bachelor's degree, and I got a certification in exercise psychology, physiology, and then after that I went into UW-Madison for their physical therapy degree, and while I was doing that I also got a certified strength and conditioning specialist certification. Then after I got my doctorate of physical therapy, then I was becoming a resident in orthopedics at UW Health and Merit, learning from the best and the brightest of the physical therapy field in the Madison area. And that allowed me to take my OCS exam, or orthopedic clinical specialist. After that, I obtained that is how I became where I am right now. Became a physical therapist at GL Rehab at the end of 2020. And now, being a physical therapist helped me provide for my three kiddos and my wife. Alphabet soup. By now, everyone probably is familiar and had saw that before. Just so a brief summary, I was born and raised on a dairy farm in western Wisconsin. I lived on the farm while I went to the University of Wisconsin River Falls to get my bachelor's degree. Alright, so let's give an overview on what this 8-week course is going to cover. So this first week is going to just be introduction to the topic and what is aging gracefully and how can we take aging into our hands. And then we'll do some baseline measurements. We'll learn about what measurements to take to help us kind of gear this program to you. And then the other components are talking about the different pillars of the aging gracefully process: the strength, aerobic, anaerobic, and stability, mobility. The last 2 weeks are kind of some miscellaneous topics and trying to find the best plan of bringing everything together. Some housekeeping things: as you signed up and registered for the class, there was a $10 fee for today's admission. So that gives you access to online lectures. From that process, we are also going to do that every week to also, if you find that, man, I'd love to end up doing what Matt is talking about, but can't actually do it because you have an injury or you have some kind of functional limitation, strength, and you just don't feel comfortable doing that, then it actually qualifies you for an order for physical therapy. We just need to contact the doctor and say, John Doe having some knee pain that's limiting his ability to do walking, or Johnny is having a hard time getting off the ground. Can we do some physical therapy to get him some strength and balance to get him off the ground? And this is a disclaimer and a liability statement. This is educational purposes only, and we unfortunately cannot take any liability for the actions you learned from. Hopefully, you're learning from me. Week 6 is a comprehensive health overview of the Aging Gracefully program, where weeks 3 through 5 focus on single fitness components, strength, cardiovascular, and stability and mobility. This week takes a broader view of the health systems that support longevity and health span. The two topics is going to be foot health and brain health. Were chosen because they represent the lyrical extremes of the body, head to toe, and because both are critically underemphasized in traditional wellness programs. Foot health connects directly to the stability and fall prevention concepts from week 5. Toe weakness is a single predictor of falls in older adults. Brain health connects to every pillar of the Aging Gracefully framework. Exercise, week 3 and 4, is the most powerful modifiable risk factor for a cognition preservative exercise. Stability training involves complex motor, cognitive integration, and the 4 horsemen of chronic diseases from week 1 include neurodegenerative diseases as a primary threat. The car metaphor continues after building the frame, engine, and steering system. A full inspection ensures nothing is overlooked before writing the maintenance schedule in week 7. Back in week 1, I asked everyone to write down what they're going to do in the final decade of life, their marginal decade. Some of you wrote down playing with grandchildren, traveling, gardening, walking the dog, dancing. Here's what to think about today. Every single one of those activities requires 2 things, and you probably never thought about them: your feet and your brain. Playing with grandchildren, you need to have your strong feet enough to get down on the floor and get back up. And you need to have the brain sharp enough to remember their names, follow their games, and stay engaged. Traveling, your feet have to walk through airports, over cobblestone streets, up and down stairs, without elevators. Your brain navigates new cities, remembering where the hotel is, managing your medication in a different time zone. Staying independent is, on your own, important. Your feet is going to carry you safely home from room to room without falling. Your brain is needed to managing your finances, driving safely, recognizing when something is wrong. Today we're going to take care of both. Your feet, carrying your dreams, and your brain, remembering them. Let me make sure you are ready for both of the marginal decade. Alright, everyone, shoes off. This is going to be our first breakout session. So, some of you might look at me like I've lost my mind, but trust me, we need to take our shoes off, and it's going to be eye-opening. You're going to look down at your feet and see things how you've never seen before. And if you can, take off your shoes and socks. We're going to do 3 quick twists. The first one is going to be done in sitting if you prefer. If you can do it standing, extra credit. Keep one hand on your chair at all times if you're doing standing. So let's go. Test 1. Spread your toes. So keeping the tripod down, your heel, the ball of your foot, and then your base of your fifth toe. Can you bring up your toes and spread them out? That should be an innate skill that everyone has. Now, this is going to be infuriating, but you should be able to spread them out. You might have a twitch once in a while. This is where we're going to be diving into the foot health, and we've got foot or toe yoga. Most people, the answer is pretty humbling. After decades of wearing narrow shoes, the muscles that spread out our toes have basically gone to sleep. Comparing this to a baby's foot, babies have wide toes and have lots of space and be able to control their toes. That is what your foot is supposed to look like. We're going to learn what the matter is and why this happens in a few minutes. Test number 2 is single leg balance. If you're comfortable standing up, keep one hand on the chair We're just going to lift one foot and we're going to see how well can we stand on one foot. We've done this before, but now can you keep your toes spread out without gripping down on the ground? Now, if you feel like you're pretty unstable, here's a challenge. The same thing, close your eyes, and same concept. It's going to be dramatically harder. That's because you just removed one of your three senses, as we talked about in week 5, vision. When your eyes are closed, we have to rely more on our vestibular and our proprioception. Now, week 3, test number 3, we're going to do a shoe inspection. So feel free to sit down, pick up your shoes that you wore off today. First, kind of bend them all around. Do they flex easy? Are they pretty stiff? If the shoe is pretty stiff, your 33 foot joints from moving are designed to move. Second, look at the toe box. How much space is in the front of the shoe? If it's not very much, and you feel like your toes are actually contacting the side of the shoes all the time, then they're naturally not allowed to spread. So the shoe sets the shape of the foot and how it's going to be pushing off. So how much, and then lastly, look at your side profile. How much higher is the heel than the toe? This is called, this is the set of the shoe on the side and seeing if you notice the slope. You are not doing anything wrong here. You're just kind of making awareness of what shoe you have, because awareness is the first step to change. Now turn to your partner, share what you've found, what surprised you, what were your shoes stuck together, or were your toes stuck together? Was one foot wobblier than the other? Did you notice anything about your shoes that you never noticed before? Take 2 minutes. Let's go and do it. All right. So feel free to pause if you want to pause and actually discuss that with someone. All right. Now let's debrief. By the show of hands, how many people were surprised how little their toes could spread out? Okay, that's almost everyone, and it was infuriating for me. It took me a long time to get my toes to move independently as well. How many of you noticed your one foot is more stable than the other when you're balancing? How many of you looked at your shoes and thought, I thought these were not doing me any favors? Here's the connection. The toe spread test tells you your intrinsic foot activation. The foot core is what we're going to learn about. The single leg foot balance test helps connect us directly to what we measured in week 2 and the sensory system from week 5. And your shoes, they are the most important aspect of your foot because they're going to be like a crutch. Everything you put our feet in goes into our shoe, we have to make sure that it's going to be the best possible. So now let's learn the science behind what we just experienced. Alright, today we're going to explore a critical but often overlooked aspect of aging, foot health. As we journey through life, our foot is being able to move independently becomes increasingly important, and it all starts with our feet. Think about it. Our feet are the foundation of our body. They bear all our weight. They help us balance. They enable us to move. Yet how often do we really pay attention to them? Courtney Canal, an expert in this field, once said, toe weakness is the single biggest predictor of falls when compared to all the other aspects that we can controlling falls. Have lower body strength, balance, foot toe weakness is the most important. And particularly our toes, we are preventing one of the most common and dangerous issues we face in older adults, falls. When we talk about foot health, we're not just talking about avoiding bunions, ingrown toenails, making sure we cut our toes, nails. We're talking about maintaining strength, balance, mobility in our feet. These three components are essential for preventing injuries, maintaining independence as we age. Strong feet can support our body weight more effectively, reducing strains of our joints, and good balance, which starts with our feet, helping us navigate uneven surfaces, avoid trips, and mobility in our feet helps us adapt to uneven terrains. In the sessions, we'll focus on the key aspects of it, proper footwear, and different mechanics of our feet. By the end together, we will understand why investigating our foot health is one of the most important steps you can take towards aging gracefully. Remember, strong, healthy feet are the foundation of an active, independent lifestyle. Let's embark on this journey together. And one step at a time, let's do it together. Now we understand the importance of foot health. Let's dive into the fascinating world of foot anatomy and the evolution journey. The human foot is a marvel of engineering. It has evolved over millions of years to support our unique bipedal or walking on 2 feet motion. Our ancestors' feet underwent significant changes as they transitioned from a tree-dwelling species into a walking and running species. These adaptations include larger joint surfaces to bear increased forces in bipedal movement, the development of distinct arches, and the lengthening of the Achilles tendon to improve energy storage and release. The modern human foot is an incredibly complex structure, divided in 3 main sections. The rear foot includes the heel bone or the calcaneus, the midfoot forming the unique arches, and the forefoot composed of the toes and the structures around the toes. In total, 26 bones, 33 joints, all work in harmony to support our weight and enable us to have a wide range of activities. It also houses 10 unique small muscles arranged in 4 layers, providing fine control and adjustment. The plantar fascia is a thick band of tissue running along the bottom of the foot, acts as a critical shock absorber, and aids in the push-off phase during our gait. Understanding this complex anatomy is more than just an academic exercise. It is proper foot care and injury prevention. Knowing how these structures work together helps us appreciate the importance of proper footwear, targeting exercises, and early interventions when issues arise. For instance, the arches of your feet, formed by unique arrangements of bones that are supported by ligaments and muscles, act like springs. They can press under load and rebound, making our walking and running more energy efficient. This is why maintaining arch health is critical for overall foot health. As we age, maintaining the foot strength and flexibility in these structures become increasingly important. By understanding our foot anatomy, we can better target our foot routines, choose appropriate footwear, and recognize early signs of potential issues. In our following discussions, we'll explore how this complex anatomy translates into practical care strategies, helping us maintain healthy, functional feet throughout our lives. Remember, every step you take involves this intricate interplay of bones, joints, and soft tissues, a testament to the evolutionary marvel that is human foot. All right, I'm going to do a fast anatomy lesson. So your foot has broken into 3 sections of, we'll call it the rear foot, that is your heel. Its job is to do a shock absorption. Every time your heel hits the ground, its
absorbing forces equal to 1 to about 1.5 times your body weight during just walking, and it's 3 times during running if you're a heel striker. A midfoot striker, that's your arch, and your arch is not just for looks. It is a spring. When your foot hits the ground, the arch compresses, it can store energy, and when you push off of it, it releases that energy. A weaker arch means less energy return, which means walking takes more energy and effort. It is like driving with flat tires if you're not using that arch. Then your forefoot, that is your toes and the ball of your foot. This is where your push off happens. This is where balance corrections happen. This is where most of your proprioception lies. Your body's position in space. It is very concentrated here. Now, here is the concept I really want you to remember. I know how many of you talk about core, that's your abdominals, deep stabilizers. Well, your foot has a core too. Researchers call it your foot core, the intrinsic muscles and the small muscles inside your foot itself, and they do the same job for your foot that your transverse abdominis does and your multifidi does for your spine. If your foot core is weak, everything above it is compressed, and the detailed anatomy is no longer mastery, because what we're going to matters today is the foot. The rear foot absorbs it, midfoot's a spring, the forefoot pushes off and balances, and the foot core holds it all together.
Let's take a fascinating journey through the evolution of shoes and footwear and how they changed over time and affect our running economy. In the early days of footwear, shoes were incredibly minimalistic. They closely resembled what we might call a barefoot or minimalist shoe today. These early designs were simple. They were thin soles, minimal structure, allowing the foot to naturally move. Think about ancient sandals and moccasins. They protected the bottom of the foot, but then tried to control any movement. However, as running gained popularities in the 1970s, we saw a dramatic shift in the shoe design. Cushions and heeled shoes were introduced with a specific goal in mind: prevent injuries, particularly like the Achilles tendon. They think they were trying to add cushion, to elevate the heel, to reduce strain on the Achilles, and to provide more comfort during long runs. Fast forward to today, we see that there's a incredible variety in running shoes today. We have motion control shoes, overframers, stability shoes for needing mild support. We have natural cushion shoes, focus for shock absorbing. We even return to minimalistic design and to mimic barefoot running. So this evolution in shoe design had a profound impact on natural foot mechanics. Let's consider the quote from Irene Davis in episode 128, I believe. Rather than have the runners adapt to running, they took the shoe and adapt it to the runner. This statement encapsulates the significant shift in philosophy. Instead of expecting the runners to develop proper strength and running form, they just designed the shoe to compensate for it. So they never allowed to have the runner perceive their weakness, their inefficiencies in the running gaits. Thus, in the long run, they actually did a disservice for the runner because they never actually strengthened their feet. Even during this could be a really strong runner, but their feet could be not strong at all, leading to a lot of injuries down the road. Take a look at the visual aid comparing the modern cushion running shoe, a huge cushion on the bottom, versus a minimalist shoe that has flexible sole. You can actually see little spots for your feet and actually much wider toe box. And so and you can't tell in this, but there's no elevation, so there's no heel lift in the minimalist shoes. Just a natural foot. You just have something on the bottom of the foot to prevent you from injuring the sole of your foot. These designs differ these design differences don't just affect comfort, they functionally change how the foot interact with the ground as we run. Cushion shoes often promote a heel strike. So whereas the minimalist shoe typically lands on the midfoot or forefoot, the thick sole of modern shoes, while protective, also reduce the abilities to sense the ground, potentially affecting our balance and natural stride adjustments. Moreover, the support structures of running modern running shoes, while potentially beneficial in short term, may lead to weakening foot muscles over time. It's like wearing a cast. It provides support, but the muscles underneath can atrophy from lack of use and shrink, and they do not get used. This evolution in running shoe design has sparked ongoing debate and research in the running community. While we're seeing a resurgence of interest in minimalist or natural running shoes, with some runners swearing by barefoot shoes, at the same time, advances in shoe technology continue to push the boundaries of cushion and support. As we move forward, the key question remains: how do we balance the protective benefits of modern shoe design we need versus strength and function? It's a complex issue, and as we discuss this in our next sessions, the answer may be a personalized approach to foot health for running mechanics. So let's dive into like the creation and development of flat feet and how footwear can affect these. A groundbreaking study of Rayo and Joseph examined 2,300 children ages 4 through 13, looking at how footwear impacts the development of the medial arch, or more that arch kind of thinking about along your base of your foot. These results are eye-opening. By age 13, less than 3% of the children who typically went barefoot had flat feet. In contrast, 9% of the children who regularly wore shoes presented with 9 feet. That is a 3 times more likely to develop flat feet versus not. Even more intriguing, the type of footwear mattered. Children wearing closed-toed shoes had a higher prevalence of flat feet compared to those just wearing sandals. Why might this be? The researchers hypothesized that it's about sensory input. Children who go with barefoot or even wearing less restrictive footwear like sandals receive more sensory input through their feet. This sensory input appears to stimulate the development of the protective muscle tone, enabling our arches to elevate naturally. There is an important anatomical factor at play here. The area of the systems latale is a bony protrusion off the calcaneus or the heel bone, which is fully ossified by age 7. It plays a critical role in maintaining the integrity of the medial arch. So what is the practical takeaways from here? It's not only important and feasible and safe for children to go barefoot, especially at school. We can encourage barefoot at time at home, allowing children to experience a variety of natural surfaces. Sand, grass provide essential sensory input. When choosing shoes, opt for a design that allows natural toe splay that don't constrict the foot movements. So when we actually contract the foot movement, it actually turns off muscle activation. So when our natural foot goes down, our feet splay apart, our toes splay apart, and that's activating muscles in the feet every single time you take a step. But if your shoe does not allow that, the muscles never get that cue to turn on, and it's an endless cycle that your foot just have all these forces on the bones, but not actually the muscles turning on to absorb those forces. As you probably saw this demonstration from me, we have muscles on the right hand, bone joints on the other hand. If we have no muscle activation, it's going to be higher forces on the joint surfaces and the bones, and that's leading to higher instances of your body saying ow. Bones can exert a lot of forces, but let's try to do the opposite, where you have on the right hand a lot of muscle activation to protecting those joint surfaces and the bones to help absorb some of those forces, because muscles are very good at adapting and modifying forces. It is This brings us to a global concept of the minimalist shoe, which represents the return to our evolutionary roots. These shoes are designed to mimic barefoot conditions while still providing necessary protection at the sole of your foot. They typically encourage the forefoot and midfoot strike while running, which can potentially reduce impact forces. Moreover, allowing the foot to move more naturally. They can help strengthen the foot muscles and promote better overall foot mechanics. However, it is critical to approach the transition to footwear carefully. Starting gradually is key and avoiding injuries like shin splints. Beginning with short periods of minimalist shoes and slowly increasing the duration. It is also important to focus on proper running form and technique during this transition. The implications of these findings extend beyond childhood. The footwear choices we make for children and habits we can encourage have lasting effects on their foot health into adulthood. But we also can do the same thing while walking, finding those wider toe box shoes. That's going to be in the key. So remember, our feet are marvels of engineering, designed to support us throughout lifetime and movements. By understanding and representing the natural function, we can take steps, pun intended, towards better long-term foot health. As we explore the anatomy of the foot and how they are involved, it is crucial to understand common injuries that can affect the complex structure. These injuries not only cause discomfort, but significantly impact our mobility and overall quality of life. Let's start with some of the most prevalent foot issues. Bunions, for instance, are the bony bumps that form on the base of the big toe. They're actually going to be on the fifth toe as well. It's a different type of bunion, but it's still the same. They are incredibly painful, make it difficult to wear shoes. Plantar fasciitis, inflammation of the connective tissue on the bottom of the foot, connecting by your heel, is a common culprit about foot pain, especially noticeable when you are taking first steps in the morning. Achilles tendonitis, affecting the large portion of the back of your heel, can make simple activities like climbing stairs, going up in your toes, incredibly painful. And let's not forget about hammer toe. This is where your pinky or your toes kind of crunch up a little bit, leading to abnormal bending, leading to corns, calluses, and discomfort. Increasingly, many of these foot issues have a ripple effect, causing problems to further build up in the body, for knee pain, leading to knee pain, hip pain, back pain, and maybe modify how we walk and leading to different issues down the road. Now, you may think about heavy cushioned shoes would help prevent these issues, but that is not always the case. So they actually tend to have a higher impact peak. So the rate of which they're loading the foot actually is higher in cushioned shoes versus the minimalist shoe, because they tend to have a heel strike, and the cushioned shoe tends to have a very fast loading of the bony structures, versus landing on your midfoot or forefoot tends to mitigate some of that sharp increase in force, called the impact peak. These impacts of the foot injuries of our daily life cannot be overstated. Chronic foot pain can lead to a significant decrease in physical activity, not only affecting our fitness levels, but also increase our risk for falls, especially in the older adult. The psychological impact is profound as well. Constant pain can lead to frustration, loss of confidence, ability to move freely, and just emotionally and physically draining. This is why early detection and treatment are critical, and prevention is even better. Being aware of your foot health, seeking help when the first signs of discomfort can lead to prevention of these issues becoming a chronic problem. Early interventions and prevention is the best technique. Remember, our feet are the foundation of our mobility. By taking care of them, we are investing in the ability to stay active, independent, and engaged in activities we love. So now let's talk about practical strategies for maintaining foot health. We're going to go in depth about one specific injury, and it's usually the canary in the coal mine. It is plantar fasciitis. It is a condition that affects a large number of people, particularly those who are active. It often presents as a sharp stabbing pain at the bottom of your foot, especially noticeable when you take a first step in the morning after you have prolonged stationary behavior. This pain is incredibly debilitating, making it difficult to walk or stand for prolonged periods of time. Now we know what plantar fasciitis is. It's often associated with an overuse, poor footwear choices, or a sudden increase in physical activity that your body has not yet adapted to. However, one of the most overlooked causes is weakness of the muscles of the feet, particularly those who control the toes. This weakness can be a major contributing factor to the development of plantar fasciitis. Yet it is something that many people often, or even healthcare providers, might not even consider. To proper diagnose this weakness, we can use specific measurements, a toe dynamometer, but this takes fancy equipment. We also can do something called the anterior lean test, as we talked about in our baseline measurements. And also, just while you're doing balancing tests, what does your toes look like? Are your toes going to be crunching down, or are they nice and relaxed when you're doing activities? And one of the signs of that crunching is kind of like a hammering toe motion. And it sounds like your body's trying to find everything possible to grip onto the ground with. A demonstration of weakness in your feet and increased strain on your plantar fascia. When it comes to treating plantar fasciitis, this approach should be individualized. There isn't one size fits all solution. For some people, it might be necessary to temporarily reduce the volume of exercise or to allow the foot to heal. Manual techniques where the physical therapist works on the tensions of the foot, increasing mobility, can also be very effective. But one of the most important aspects of the treatment is foot strengthening exercises. These exercises are designed to target the muscles that are often weak in individuals with plantar fasciitis, particularly those ones who control the toes. And additionally, this is going to improve the proprioception of the body's awareness of the feet, letting it utilize the muscles that you're having as well. Because sometimes the muscles are there, but you just don't know how to activate them and stabilize the foot. In some cases, orthotics could even be helpful. These could be, I usually recommend just over the counter, just to provide a little additional support temporarily, not as a long-term solution, but a way to bridge the gap to make walking and activities less painful while you are trying to strengthen the feet. For persistence in more severe cases, it might be necessary you can do shockwave therapy, and that's kind of doing high energy sound waves directly at the area to help stimulate the healing and reduce the pain. There's a lot of techniques you can do to, but the natural progression is going to be about 9 months of pain if you don't get it treated. And then your body's going to figure out and ways to calm it down. But then if you don't do the necessary things, you're at an increased risk of having this, having plantar fasciitis again. So might as well address the underlying issues the first time so you don't have it come back again. Like we said, plantar fasciitis tends to be the canary in the coal mine. It's the first signal that something else is going wrong in the foot, and that foot is the foundation of our body. So might as well address the foundation first before you notice cracks up the wall and cracks in the roof, because we want to make sure that we address it early before it becomes a major injury that prevents us from exercising and keeping up our fitness and our function. So, in summary, we went in depth about this one condition. There's a lot of different other conditions that can happen with the feet and injuries of it. So we want to make sure this is one of the ones that I think is the most relatable because probably everyone had it, but also it's very treatable as well. And so we want to just make sure that we are addressing these concerns and understanding that we have power over this pain. As we journey through life, our bodies undergo numerous changes as we age, and our feet are no exception. Today, we're going to explore the critical aspects of that. First and foremost, we're going to start off with a statistic. By the age of 50, it takes about 20% more pressure to stimulate the sensory receptors in your foot than your younger years. Even more startling, by age 85, this foot sensitivity can decrease by a staggering 75%. This isn't just about losing the ability to feel the sand between our toes. It has profound implications for our balance, gait, and overall mobility. How does this happen? As we age, we experience a reduction in mechanical receptors, the sensory nerves that are on our feet that are detecting pressure and send that signals to the brain. We also see a decrease in that speed from the nerve from that foot to the brain as well. So decrease in how much output there is, as well as the speed of what that output is going to the brain. Add to this is natural thinning of the skin itself, making our feet very, very sensitive to injury of the skin itself. So we have a perfect storm for reducing foot sensation. The impact of this sensory decline on balance and gait cannot be overstated. With reduced proprioceptions, our body's sense of where it is in space, a decrease in ability to detect these changes on the surface or slope, the risk of falls significantly increases. Falls are not just a minor inconvenience, they're a leading cause of injury, hospitalizations, and death in the older adult. But here's good news. We're not powerless. Let's face this decline head on. Regular exercises play a critical role in maintaining foot strength and sensation. Exercises induces circulation to the sensory nerves, promoting nerve fiber branching and improved sensation. Simple exercises like toe flexion extensions, toe yoga, ankle rotations, and even barefoot walking on various surfaces, which please be safe if you have not done that before. Do that slow transition like we talked about before. Can make a huge difference in that nerve. In addition to exercise, there are other strategies to prevent decline. Regular foot examinations can catch issues early. Proper footwear is critical. Look at those shoes with wide toe boxes, low heels, and a good. We do not underestimate the power of nutrition as well. Vitamin B complex and omega-3s are important for nerve health as well. Now let's look at the assessment. While if you want to be very picky, there's actually a vibration test that you can use with a tuning fork and a 2-point discrimination to figure out how well your foot sensation is. If you're diabetic, you're probably aware of those tests. Speaking of early interventions, it is critical to take some of those things with the doctor so they can have those early interventions, because we want to try to maintain that as much as possible, that foot health. While you can make improvements, but it's a whole lot easier to maintain what you have versus try to regain what you lost. Inclusion. While age-related decline in foot sensation and strength is a natural part of aging, it's not something that we have to passively accept. Through regular exercise, proper foot care, and early intervention, we can maintain our foot health, reduce the risk of falls, and stay active and independent as we age. Remember, our feet are the foundation of our body. They carry us through life. It is time we give them the attention they deserve.
All right, this is going to be Breakout number 2, and hopefully it's going to be a little fun, but maybe a little humbling as well. But how we're humbled is how we're going to be learning as well. I want you to do two things, and we're going to be talking about what you find. You can stay seated if you want. You can stand if you want. It's up to you. First, pick up your shoe that you wore today. Hold it in both hands. Now try bend it, fold it in half. Go ahead. Really try it. Does it flex easily like a piece of paper, or does it stiff like a board? Now twist it side to side. Grab the toe and the heel and try wringing out like a wet towel. Does it twist? Does it resist? Now look at the front of the shoe. That's the toe box. Spread your toes out nice and wide. Try to make a fan in your toes. You see a daylight in between. We just talked about this in Breakout 1. Now look at your toe box. Is there enough room for your toes to spread out normally? Or would they get cramped together like sardines? The last thing on the shoe, set it on the floor or your lap and look at it side to side. How much higher is it on your heel than your shoe? Than the toe. So the heel is higher than your toe. Some of you might notice a slope. Some of you might be surprised how much slope there is. Just notice it. We're going to talk about why all these things are in a few minutes when we discuss it more about how much you do. Kind of discuss and look at your shoe a little bit more in depth. Now, here's the second part. And this is the one that we're going to surprise you the most. We're going to take the shoe, if you had insoles in your shoe, put it on the ground, and we'll see, does that insole support your shoe and support your foot? So if you put your foot on there, you don't see the insole, your foot is bigger than the insole, and the shoe is not supporting your foot as it should. And now the second part is the one that's going to be the most surprising. I'm going to do some balance tests. I'm going to do them twice. We have done some balance tests already. You have your shoes on, and then you're going to also do it with your shoes off. I'm going to pay close attention to how it feels different. Might stand up, hover on one foot, or maybe side to side, or tandem, whatever way you need to. Have a balance partner there if you need it. Now, lift up one foot just a little bit. You hold it for a couple seconds, up to 10, 15 seconds. Notice how it feels. What do you feel your feet are doing inside the shoe? Now take that shoe off again. Same test. Tandem stance, single leg stance, barefoot. Same surface. The only thing different is your shoe. What do you notice? Does it feel different or the same? Does one feel more stable than the other? Because your feet are now getting direct sensation information from the floor instead of thousands of nerves endings from the bottom of your foot sending signals directly to your brain. There's not a plug or a foam surface in between that. So it's like getting earplugs in your ear. It's going to be different hearing your earplugs in your ear. Same thing, but shoes are the earplugs of your feet. The signal is much clearer now. Some of you are going to feel less stable barefooted. That's equally important information. That means your shoe is doing most of the stabilization for you. The muscles inside your feet are not engaging because they don't need to. The body is smart. It's not going to work harder than it has to. The shoe is acting like your crutch. Neither is bad. Both are information. Both tell us something about where your feet are now. Now I want to notice something between while you're looking barefoot, looking down your toes. Are they gripping the floor? Can you feel them actively pressing the ground? Trying to help your balance. Are they doing the same thing when the shoes are on than versus the shoes are off? So discuss this with your partner. Feel free to do that a little bit. So now a couple minutes has passed. You discussed with your partner. Now let's hear from you guys. What surprised you? Show of hands, how many of you guys found your shoes were stiffer than they thought? That's the most common reaction you have between wearing shoes every day and never bent them. Now you know. How did the balance test feel? Who was more stable than barefoot? who is more stable with shoes. Now, honestly, you have to have that aspect. That's your proprioception talking to you, figuring out what information you need, and your brain was processing it differently. Here's the connection. And we're all going to go much deeper into this in the next few slides. Your shoe is neither helping your foot getting stronger every day or slowly weakening your foot every day. There's no neutral. A stiff shoe prevents your 33 joints from moving. A narrow toe box prevents your shoes from spreading and gripping. An elevated heel shortens your Achilles tendon and shifts your weight forward. And a thick sole blocks the sensory information to your brain to keep your body balanced. That does not mean your shoes are evil. It means awareness is the first step. And now you're aware, so you are now talking about your footwear. In a few minutes, we are going to be discussing all these aspects, how to fully analyze your shoe. And this is the starting point.
Let us talk about something we use every day, footwear. Choosing the right shoes is more than just looking good or feeling comfortable. It's about settling a foundation for long-term health and overall mobility. And the foot is the foundation of our body. It's what connects us to this earth. So if we have good feet but don't have good footwear, it makes the foundation not as good. So let's take some time to naturally discuss this. First, let's discuss the footwear idea. One of the most important features is a wide toe box. This design allows your foot to splay naturally, which is critical for maintaining balance and preventing deformities like bunions and hammer toes. When your toes are cramped, it leads to a host of issues, but giving them space allows them to spread and help keep your feet strong and functional. When you are naturally pushing off of your feet, they're supposed to spread out, and that activates muscles and cues them to turn on. Thus, like I said, keeping them strong. The next is the heel to toe drop. That's the difference between the height at the heel and the ball of your foot. In the shoe, many traditional shoes have a significant drop, which over time can contribute to poor ankle mobility and shorten Achilles tendon. By gradually moving to shoes with a lower drop, starting at 10 millimeters and working on a 5 and eventually 0, you can improve the strength and flexibility of your feet and ankles. Then we have stack height, or the thickness of the sole. Depending on what you're doing, you might want to have different stack heights. Lower stack height gives you a better feel of the ground and promotes natural movement. But for activities like running, hiking, you might want a cushion or more remote protection. Now, if you're thinking about moving to minimalist shoes, these flexible, low support shoes that can be rolled up and easily fit into your pocket, it's important to do it gradually. It is where Irene Davis's podcast comes in, designed to help your feet slowly adjust to new demands of minimalist footwear, reducing the risk of injury when building strength along this transition. Strengthening your feet with exercises and using toe spacers is key. Research supports this approach. A study by Sarah Ridge shows that simply switching to functional footwear can significantly improve foot strength, as almost as doing as much as delicate exercises. If you combine the two, wearing functional shoes as well as doing exercises, the results will be even better. Courtney Connolly, the expert in the foot, also shares this valuable advice. Starting by wearing minimalist shoes or toe spacers just 30 minutes a day, and then gradually increasing the time. Her own experience is a great example. She avoided surgery by committing to foot strengthening exercises and using minimalist shoes and toe spacers. Lastly, let's talk about some special considerations. For kids, starting with functional footwear is is key to developing strong, healthy feet. For adults who love fashion shoes, there's a balance must be struck. It is okay to wear them occasionally, but be sure to include foot exercises in your routine to counteract the negative effects. You can do these exercises before and after wearing fashion shoes to maintain foot health. In summary, the right footwear does more than just protect your feet. It actually improves your foot health, strengthening your muscles and supporting your overall mobility as you age. By making thoughtful choices and incorporating simple exercises, you can keep your feet strong and healthy for the long run. Now let's dive into the protocol for transitioning into a minimalist shoes. This process is crucial because it allows our feet to gradually adapt to the new demands placed on them. The timeline we're working with is flexible, depending on your comfort and experience level, but typically spans 6 weeks. In the first week, we're starting with minimalist exposure, just 10-15 minutes a day. This might sound short, but it's essential to ease your foot muscles into the new footwear. Think about warming up your feet, much like how you warm up before a workout. As we move into week 2, we're increasing the duration to 20 to 30 minutes daily. But now your feet should start feeling more comfortable in the shoes, and you may notice less soreness after wearing them. Week 3 is about building duration. You'll spend 40 to 60 minutes a day in the minimalist shoe. This is where your feet really start to strengthen, adapt, and with the reduced resport and increased flexibility of the footwear. During week 4 and 5, you should be wearing the shoes up to 2 hours a day. This longer duration helps integrate the benefits of minimalist shoes into your day-to-day routine, whether you're walking, exercise, or just going about your day. Finally, 6 weeks and beyond, you're ready for full-time use. At this point, your feet should be strong and resilient through handling all your activities in minimalist shoes. But remember, it's crucial to listen to your body. If you're experiencing any persistent pain, swelling, discomfort, that's a sign to slow down or even regress to a previous stage. Also, before progressing to each stage, make sure you are comfortable walking for 30 minutes without pain, and maintain proper foot alignment during each activity. This will help you ensure a smooth transition and prevent injuries. This protocol is more than just changing your shoes. It's about rebuilding your foot strength and improving your overall foot health. By following these steps, you'll be setting yourself up for better movement, less injury, and a more natural way of walking and running. Now let's talk about the role of proper movement patterns in preventing injuries. When we talk about our body's moves, we're thinking about walking, running, or simply standing. Alignment is key. One of the most common issues is knee valgus, where the knee comes inwards during movement. This isn't just aesthetically concerning, it is a significant risk factor for injuries like IT band syndrome, patellofemoral pain, or often called runner's knee. The knee valgus, or knock knee, is often linked to poor foot core stability. Yeah, everyone thinks about the core, but also the foot has muscles that have kind of related as core. The foot core refers to muscles and structures within the foot that maintains an alignment and function of the arch. When these are weak, the arch of the foot can collapse, leading to poor alignment up the kinetic chain, resulting in inward collapse of the knees. Misalignment puts extra stress on the knees, hips, and lower back, increasing the risk of injuries. Foot stability plays a critical role in preventing knock knees and other related injuries. A stable foot provides a strong foundation, ensuring that the knees track properly over the toes during movement. This alignment reduces injury and enhances movement efficiency, making it easier to move with less strain on the body. But here's the challenge. Modern lifestyles often disrupt these natural movement patterns. Prolonged sitting, for instance, tightens the hip flexors, weakens the glutes, leading to compensation patterns that place undue stress on the knees and feet. If you remember that we have that lower cross from our stability unit, that's the same concept that they're just talking about here. It comes full circle. Moreover, conventional shoes with their the high heel to toe drop and narrow toe boxes can further disrupt our natural alignment, leading to a host of problems. For poor posture and altered gait patterns and increased injury risk. This is where gait retraining comes in. Gait retraining is teaching the body to move more efficiently with proper alignment. It's all about correcting faulty movement patterns, improving muscle activation, and reducing strain on joints and tissues. Irene Davis has done incredible work with runners, helping them retrain their gait and prevent injuries and improving performance through targeted exercises and mindful practice. Gait retraining can help you move better and stay injury-free for a long haul. In summary, by focusing on proper foot mechanics and movement patterns and addressing the disruptions caused by modern life, we can greatly reduce the risk for injury and improving the overall quality of movement. Whether it is strengthening the foot core, ensuring proper knee alignment, retraining our gait, these strategies are essential for aging gracefully and maintaining a high level of function and ability. This structure ensures that.
All right, breakout session number 2. So now you know this routine by now. This is going to be the 4-minute routine. Ready, go. We're going to do that same thing we've done before. Now we're going to be focusing more on your feet and trying to feel what your feet are doing when you're doing it. When you're going through your squats, doing the thing, think about if your toes are grabbing. Again, I'm not going to be calling out any time or any time. But just feel free to go through the 4-minute routine as you feel fit. And we're going to go through this. So we're going to have making sure we are thinking about you're going to be planting your feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, and you can try to spread out your toes if you can, trying to make sure your foot is in contact and having your heel, the ball of your foot, and the base of your toe all in contact the whole time. And so can you feel all the 3 of these? Press one into each other, the foot deliberately, the heel. So pushing the heel, pushing in the ball of the foot, pushing in the base of the foot toe, kind of being aware of all 3 points when you're doing this. This is the foot tripod. This is the foundation of everything you have to do with your feet. If one of these lifts off, your balance is compromised. Now, let's do the entire routine. Now, I want you to maintain that awareness of that tripod. Every squat, every arm swing, every movement, ask yourself, do I feel the three points? Where's my weight shifting? Am I rolling side to side of my foot on the outside? Are my toes gripping the ground and trying to claw? Or are they just going along for the ride? So this is the same routine as always as we talked about. So feel free to pause the video if you want to go through. And now, throughout this, feel the pinky toe, feel the tripod, feel the heel, feel the ball of the foot as you squat. Notice where your weight shifts. Can you keep it centered across all 3 points? Now press your toes onto the floor. Can you feel them grip? Or are they just nice and relaxed there? Notice as one foot feels different from the other. There's no judgment, just kind of noticing if you're shifting side to side. On arm swings, do you feel like your feet are stabilizing the whole time, or do you feel like you're a good anchor? And now, the last round, really drive through your feet, trying to feel the floor, open up the tripod if you can, own that tripod. Alright, so feel free, if you've not done the routine yet, feel free to pause and continue the routine. So good work, everyone. Now sit down. Let me ask you, did the routine feel any different today? When we focus on your feet, what did you notice? Were there any more awareness of the balance centers? Did you feel your muscles of your feet any differently? Could you feel a difference between pressing through your heel versus pushing through your toes. That's exactly what the research on attentional focus tells us. The same exercise produces different results depending on where you direct your attention. Today, by focusing on the feet, we are training your proprioception system. The same system we have talked about in week 5, we were building the connection between your brain and your feet. And you do not need any special equipment. You just need awareness. Now you're going to shift gears. We have spent the first half of today looking at our feet, and now we're going to be more of the fundamentals of the command center. You're going from feet to your brain.
In summary, we've covered some critical principles regarding foot health that are essential for aging gracefully. Let's revisit some. First, the importance of foot strength and mobility cannot be overstated. Our feet are the foundation of movement in our body, and by ensuring they are strong and flexible, we protect ourselves from a range of potential issues down the line. Exercise that target foot muscles and joint mobility should be a regular part of our routine. Second, the proper footwear plays a vital role in maintaining foot health. Shoes that support natural foot function, like a wide toe box, minimal heel-to-toe drop, and flexibility, can prevent deformities and injuries. Choosing the right shoes are not just about comfort, it's about preserving the health and function of your feet. Third, regular assessment and proactive care are key. Making it a habit to check your feet regularly, go for signs of change and discomfort, and address them early. This proactive approach can help you maintain foot health and avoid significant problems in the future. Finally, I want to emphasize that prioritizing your foot health is an investment in your overall well-being. As we age, strong, flexible feet contribute to our mobility, balance, and independence. They enable us to stay active and enjoy life to the fullest, reducing these risks of injuries and greatly impacting our life. Now, as we've seen, taking care of our feet sets a good foundation for physical health and mobility, but aging gracefully isn't just about our physical abilities. It's also about keeping our minds sharp and healthy. So let us transition from talking about the foot and discussing brain health and exploring how we can support our cognition and mental well-being as we age.
So the first half we talked about your feet, and now hopefully you're starting to see them differently, not as something you ignore, not something you just put in your shoe, but as the foundation of your physical independence. And now we're going to shift that fundamental aspect to the foundation of your command center, your brain. If your feet keep you upright, your brain keeps you, your personality, your memories, your ability to make decisions, recognizing loved ones, and live independently. And this is powerful about today's two topics. Your foot health and your brain health are highly modifiable, and remarkably, many of the same interventions work for both. Exercise, which we covered through weeks 3 through 5, the same important tools. Both have fall prevention aspects and cognitive preservation. Nutrition matters both, sleep matters for both, even social engagement, which keeps your brain active and keeps you moving on your feet. Peter Attia often says that the brain is one of the organs that we cannot transplant. We have to take care of it, the one we have. So let's talk about how to do that.
So, first and foremost, let's transition to the brain. And the brain is something that we are going to be covering because it's very important. If we don't have our brain, it's really hard to live life. And there's actions that we can do that actually affect our brain health. And these are modifiable risk factors. So lifestyle choices and habits we can change to control the impact of our brain health. And first, before we dive into these factors, we have to understand what
is neurodegeneration. It's the process that we lose structure and function of our neurons and our brain cells. And when we lose those aspects, increasing the risk of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, these diseases will occur from these. These are the AMAs where I'm pulling most of the information from. So I do encourage you to, if you're not members of Peter Attia's, please become members because you can dive into these aspects. And hopefully I'll cover them in enough detail. If not, then we'll have you look at their slides as well.
All right, breakout session number 3. So we have a lot of information about the brain health, obvious risk factors, some hidden risk factors. We have lots of numbers that are hopefully not too surprising, and hopefully maybe a little bit unsettling, but we have to let's talk about how to make it personal, because population statistics do not change anything. It is more just like personal awareness of it does. So how does these population measures compare to what we're actually having? So there's a handout. There's a simple worksheet called the Brain Health Risk Inventory. And the first thing I want you to notice is this is all about you. So you don't have to share this with anybody. This is all about you being completely honest with yourself, because honesty is the prerequisite for change. Here is what we want to do. Step 1, go through the checklist and check off any of the risk factors that are relevant to you. There are 12 items on the list. Some of them, like smoking and alcohol, are obvious ones we discussed. Others, like hearing loss or oral health, are a little bit hidden ones. Each item is labeled awareness or modifiable. Modifiable is the way you can do something to change it. Awareness meaning it is something you should be aware of, but not something that you can directly control, like family history or genetics. Step 2, once you have checked off the boxes, I want you to circle 1 or 2 modifiable factors that you think about, that you have the biggest improvement. This is not about perfection, it's about identifying the highest impact opportunities. Maybe you know that your sleep has been terrible, or have been ignoring it. Circle it. Maybe you have been meaning to have a hearing test done for the last 3 or 4 years but never scheduled it. Circle it. Maybe your diet could use a little bit more vegetables and berries, or fewer fast food meals. Circle it. Then pick one or two of these, and that's your thing you're going to be focusing on. Then step 3, turn to your partner, and this is one important part. You don't have to share anything that you have risk factors for. I mean, if you feel comfortable, you can, but this worksheet is private. Instead, I want you to share 1 or 2 things that you learned today about your brain health. Is there anything surprising you? Something that you did not know before you walked in today? Maybe this is something about about the hearing connection. Maybe it was that 40% statistics. Maybe that was your system of your brain, how it cleans up itself after it sleeps, and that's really important to help make sure we are having it cleansed. So whatever is surprising, I want you to share that. So you have a couple minutes to share. Feel free to pause this video if you're doing this online. All right, so let's dive in a little bit ended brief. Without sharing any of the specifics, show of hands, how many of you checked off 1 or 2 risk factors? 3 or 4, 5 or more. So it's completely normal to have a few of these risk factors, and it's common. Most people over the age of 50 do, and that is not the point. The point is, look at the worksheet. 1 or more of them, how many of them boxes are checked off modifiable next to them? For most of you, the answer might be all of them. That is the power of today's session. You are not this is not a death sentence. This is awareness. They are not, these are not going to diagnose you of you're going to have Alzheimer's. That is not the point here. These are opportunities, and the levers you can pull to improve your brain health. And collectively, addressing these factors can reduce your dementia risk by 40%. Now, What was the most common surprise? Take 2 or 3 of these responses. I want to hear from you guys. No one usually expects a few of these, and that is exactly why we cover it, because if you do not know it and you can't address it, you'll never get tested and you'll never know it and you'll never make improvements on it. Keep this worksheet, take it home, put it somewhere where you see it each week. You're going to use it again and again in a few minutes, and want to build your action plan from it.
So some of the key obvious factors is smoking, alcohol consumption, sleep, head injuries, poor blood pressure control, and then there's a genetic link. APE4 allele increases the risk if you have 2 of them. We're going to dive into each one of these and the associated risk of each one of them in the next slides. First, let's discuss smoking. Smoking is a major risk factor for cognitive decline, and dementia. In fact, smokers have 60% higher likelihood of developing all-cause dementia compared to non-smokers. This is largely because smokers damages blood vessels, reducing blood flow to the brain, induces toxins that can be harmful for brain cells. But there is a good news. If you quit smoking, your brain health can improve. Studies show that after 9 years or more smoking, your risk of dementia can return than that of a non-smoker. Next, alcohol consumption. That's something called the There's something called the alcohol paradox. Some studies suggest that moderate drinking have somewhat of a protective effect, but this is largely due to confounding variables and factors. The truth is, alcohol impact on the brain is mostly negative, especially in higher quantities. It is recommended to limit alcohol intake to no more than 7 to 8 drinks per week. That's no more than 2 drinks in a day. This is especially important for those people with the ApoE4 gene, who will be more susceptible to the alcohol's negative impacts on the brain and health. So alcohol does everything negative to the brain, but it also has some social benefits because you usually socialize with doing alcohol. So that's where that paradox comes in. So let's try to get like socialization and other aspects instead of just having alcohol. Now let's talk about sleep. Adequate sleep is critical for brain health. Getting less than 5 hours of sleep per night is associated with a 60% increase in all-cause dementia risk compared to getting 7 or more. Why? Because during sleep your brain clears out toxins that build up during the day and consolidates memories. When you don't get enough sleep, these processes are disrupted, leading to a higher risk of negative cognitive decline. Head injuries are another significant factor. Severe head injuries, particularly traumatic brain injuries or TBIs, are linked to 80% increase in dementia risk. It is important to protect your head, especially in sports and daily activities. Using protective gear and trying to prevent you from falling, because that's probably in the older adult, that's going to be the leading cause of head injuries. Finally, blood pressure control. High blood pressure is known as a risk factor for cognitive decline. In the Sprint Minds trial, the study that showed lowering systolic blood pressure to 120 instead of 140 and resulted in a relative 16% risk of reduction in cognitive impairment. So you can manage your blood pressure a little bit or quite a bit severely and get it down to a low number, and that's shown to be beneficial. So the lower you go, the better brain health you're going to have. High blood pressure damages small blood vessels in the brain, reducing oxygen supply to the brain cells, which contributes to cognitive decline. In summary, while these factors may seem obvious, they are critical in protecting brain health as we age. By making changes to modifiable risk factors, quitting smoking, moderate alcohol intake, prioritizing sleep, preventing head injuries, and controlling blood pressure, we can take a significant steps toward maintaining cognitive function, and age gracefully. Now we cover the obvious factors. Let's go to less obvious, yet equally important factors that influence how our brains age. We'll discuss why the ApoE4 allele increases the risk of Alzheimer's disease and the connection to cholesterol transport to the brain. While this topic may seem complex, it is critical for understanding the interplay between genetics, brain health, and potential therapies. Understanding ApoE3, 4, and 2 isoforms and its impact. The ApoE3 gene has 3 isoforms. So these are the factors that are probably less known. They include exercise, lipid management, controlling type 2 diabetes, nutrition, supplements, learning and cognitive abilities, brain games, hearing loss, sound use, and oral health. Some of these factors like exercise and hearing loss have stronger causal evidence linking them to brain health. Others are more associative, meaning that we can see a relationship, but we don't have a direct causation. It is important to note that these factors don't exist in isolation. They are also interconnected. For example, getting good sleep can help have good blood pressure while exercising and improve sleep quality. That's why we recommend a holistic approach to brain health, addressing multiple factors simultaneously. We'll cover exercise in depth next, and it's important to figure out what's the effective dose for seeing significant benefits. Remember, it's never too late to start making positive changes for your brain health. Every step counts. So these are the factors that are probably less known. They include exercise, lipid management, controlling type 2 diabetes, nutrition, supplements, learning and cognitive abilities, brain games, hearing loss, sound use, and oral health. Some of these factors like exercise and hearing loss have stronger causal evidence linking them to brain health. Others are more associative, meaning that we can see a relationship, but we don't have a direct causation. It is important to note that these factors don't exist in isolation. They are also interconnected. For example, getting good sleep can help control good blood pressure while exercising and improve sleep quality. That's why we recommend a holistic approach to brain health, addressing multiple factors simultaneously. Optimizing brain health requires a multifactorial approach. Exercise is the most powerful tool, and we dive into that deeper shortly. But just as important as lipid and blood sugar management, high LDL cholesterol and triglycerides impair circulation and drive inflammation, accelerating cognitive decline. Research shows hydrophilic statins lower Alzheimer's risk, but lifestyle changes such as eating fiber-rich foods, healthy fats are crucial. Similarly, diabetes increases dementia risk by 58% due to insulin resistance and blood vessel damage. Good news, regular exercise, a balanced diet, weight management, and proper sleep can dramatically reduce these risks. Small, consistent changes lead to a lifelong cognitive resilience. What we eat, how we hear, and key nutrition all impacts brain health. The Mediterranean and Mind diets, rich in healthy fats, fiber, and antioxidants, are linked to reduce dementia risk. Omega-3s, polyphenols, and vitamin D are especially important for brain function. Midlife obesity, on the other hand, doubles Alzheimer's risk, making mindful eating critical. Hearing loss is often overlooked, but significantly increases dementia risk, with even mild loss raising the risk by 89%. This happens to be due to increased cognitive strain, social withdrawal, and changes in brain structure. early intervention with hearing tests and hearing aids can help prevent cognitive function or preserve cognitive function. Finally, while supplements like omega-3s, B vitamins, curcumin, cocoflavins support brain health, they work best alongside a nutritious diet. Small dietary changes in diet, hearing care, supplementation can have profound influence long-term brain health. Keeping the brain engaged is one of the best ways to protect against cognitive decline. Learning new skills, solving puzzles, and engaging in social activities build cognitive reserve, which helps delay dementia symptoms. Even small dietary changes like reading and playing a game can make big differences. And doing dual tasking, like we talked about before, doing a physical task with additional mental tasks is very powerful. Regular sauna use is another powerful brain tool. Studies shows that people who use a sauna 4 to 7 times per week lower their Alzheimer's risk by 50%. This is because saunas improve circulation, reduce inflammation, and help the body detoxify. Oral health is often overlooked as well, but plays a critical role in brain function. Gum disease releases inflammation markers, and harmful bacteria can contribute to Alzheimer's. Brushing twice a day, flossing, regular dental visits can significantly reduce these risks. By incorporating cognitive challenges, sauna use, and proper oral care into daily life, we can take simple but effective steps towards a long-term brain health solution. Now, let's focus on the most powerful tool we have for maintaining brain health: exercise. And that's exactly why we're talking about it today, because we actually can empower it quite a bit. Think of exercise as a broad spectrum drug for our brain. Just like broad spectrum antibiotics fights many types of bacteria, exercise benefits the brain in numerous and simultaneous ways. Let's break those benefits down. First, exercise increases growth factors of neurons, love, B, D, N, F, and IGF-1. Don't worry about memorizing them. Those are growth factors that our body and our brain needs to grow and have neuroplasticity and make them efficiently improve. You can think of them as fertilizer for the brain. It helps neurons grow and form new connections. And then it is crucial for brain cell growth and survival. Exercise helps regulate inflammational cytokines and reduces oxidative stresses. In similar terms, it helps reduce chronic inflammation in the brain and protects our brain cells from damage. Exercise is crucial for improving blood flow to the brain because our brain needs a constant supply of oxygen and nutrients that come through the blood. A better blood flow can help maintain cognition as we age. The brain is a very greedy organ. It has so it has like 2% of our body's weight, and I think up to like 10 to 15% of our energy needs goes to the brain. So making sure we give it all the energy it needs. Exercise has shown to also reduce amyloid beta concentrations, or we call them kind of plaques. These are also associated with Alzheimer's diseases, so keeping them in check is vital for long-term brain health. Now, you might be wondering, how much exercise do I need? The good news is there's a significant benefits that can be achieved just through a minimum effective dose. Just 3 hours a week. That might sound like a lot, but when structured properly, it can reduce risk of these diseases by almost 50%. That's right. At any point in time, your risk of dying in a summer year could be reduced by half of what it once was. So how should you structure these 3 hours? It is recommended dividing them into 3 parts. 1 hour for strength training. It could involve using resistance bands, bodyweight exercises like push-ups or squats, or going to the gym. And strength training has been linked to improved cognition and reducing risk of dementia, as well as a lot of the other ones we talked about before in week 4. 1 hour of zone 2 or aerobic training. This is relatively low and intense cardio, but a level where you're uncomfortable speaking. You can kind of talk like this, and it's kind of annoying for the other person at all. You can still speak, but the other person should know you are speaking. Think about briskly walking or light jogging. This is a type of exercise that improves cardiovascular health and endurance without overstressing the body. And 1 hour of high intensity exercise with coordinated movements. Think of this as like shadow boxing or active dance classes. The key is the combination of intensity and coordination, challenging both your body and your brain. The diversity of the routine is critical. Each type of exercise contributes differently to your overall health and cognition. And remember, novelty is key. Your brain gets the challenge, and variety of the routine can make it more enjoyable, making it easier to stick to it long term. While this 3-hour minimum can yield significant benefits, you can always encourage doing more if you can. Start small if you're new to exercise and gradually increase your activity level. Remember, consistency is more important than intensity. Regular moderate exercise is beneficial than occasionally intense workouts. It is worth noting, while the evidence for exercise overall is strong, we still need more research on specific types of exercise and their impact on brain health. For instance, activities like dancing and that combine physical and cognitive benefits are particularly interesting. There's a lot of evidence that are coming out because it combines both fields. In conclusion, exercise is a powerful tool for maintaining and improving brain health. It's never too late to start. Even small bouts of activities have big impacts. Remember to consult your healthcare provider before starting a new exercise regime, especially if you're experiencing health conditions. Your brain will thank you for every step you take towards a more active and lifestyle.
The final breakout has the same goal setting structure as week 2 through 5. Maintaining a consistency makes exercise feel familiar while adapting it for the content. The unique structure of the foot health as well as brain health. So today, the foot health action items are drawn directly from the session teaching on toe yoga and requires no equipment. It can be done anywhere. It can be sitting, watching TV. It can be another one. It could be single leg balance, requiring only a chair for support. A shoe audit, where you're going to be taking off your shoes and trying to see where it kind of feels like, and be spending more time barefoot in homes. Each option connects to the science taught earlier. Toe yoga trains intrinsic foot muscles and neural control pathways. Single leg balance trains the proprioception system and directly connects to week 2 baseline measurements and week 5 stability principles. The shoe audit applies footwear education, and barefoot time allows foot mechanoreceptors to receive unfiltered sensory input. The brain action items target the modifiable risk factors with some of the strongest evidence based and the lowest barrier to entry, committing to 7 hours of sleep, addressing the 60% of dementia risk, increasing association with sleep deprivation, and scheduling a hearing test to address one of the single largest modifiable risk factors, linked to cognitive decline, and making sure you're addressing your hearing. Adding berries or leafy greens, representing the simple entry point to the mind diet. And calling a friend to address social isolation, independent dimension risk factor. These options are deliberately low barrier. The goal is to create momentum, not perfection. The marginal decade connection is the emotional capstone of every breakout session program. By asking participants to explicitly link their chosen actions to the activities you want to write down in week 1, the exercise transforms abstract health advice into personalized motivation. The partner accountability component addresses a social commitment. Publicly stating a goal to another person increases follow through by approximately 65% compared to a private goal setting alone. If this is the same partner sharing format we use all the way through to build trust and build that relationship. The action plan also serves as a natural bridge to week 7, the periodization training plan. Participants who commit to a specific foot and brain health actions this week will arrive at week 7 already beginning integration and new habits, making them more receptive to the structure exercise program of week 7 delivers. These 2 actions chosen today will become data points when participants build the personalized training plans next week.
Focusing on brain health is just one piece of the puzzle. Exercise plays a pivotal role in combating other leading causes of death, the 4 horsemen, as Peter Attia likes to describe these 4 chronic diseases. Let's dive into how staying active can protect us against these major threats. As we age, many of us face the increased risk of chronic diseases that can significantly impact our quality of life. These diseases can be referred to as the 4 horsemen, including cardiovascular disease, neurodegenerative diseases, cancers, and metabolic disease. Together, they represent the most common causes of premature death and are the major focuses of modern healthcare. However, the good news is that we have a powerful tool at our disposal to combat these diseases: exercise. Research shown that moving from a sedentary lifestyle to just 3 hours of exercise per week can cut the risk of all-cause mortality by a remarkable 50%. This means by simply engaging in regular exercise, we can dramatically reduce our chances of falling victim to these chronic diseases. And remember, that's just the minute mark. Now we're going to be figuring out what specific exercises are going to make up those minutes. So it's going to be even more strategically placed. So it'll be probably even more than 90% if we are following this kind of approach. But it is not just about living longer, it's about living better. Exercise doesn't just extend our lifespan, it enhances our health span, the period which we spend our good quality in health. By incorporating exercise into our daily routines, we can not just add years to our lives, but improve the quality of those years, delaying and preventing onset of the horsemen. So whether you're active or just starting out, remember that exercise is one of the most effective ways to invest in your future self. By prioritizing physical activity today, you're taking a critical step towards a longer, healthier life. Just as we proactively address exercise to combat 4 exercises of death, we must be proactive steps about reducing accidental deaths. And with one of the leading causes of deaths throughout all categories of decades of life, this accidental death, and one of the categories is the main one is car accidents. And they're referring to as car crashes because most of the times they are not accidents. 94% of these times are usually due to human error. So no accidents, it's human things are causing this. And each year, 42,000 people lose their lives on American roadways. This highlights the critical need for preventive measures. First, let's tackle the 4Ds. We have drowsy, drunk, drug, and distraction. First tackle, it's doing drowsy driving. Prioritizing quality sleep is essential for maintaining alertness behind the wheel. Driving while tired impairs reaction times, decision making, increasing the risk of accidents. Make sure you get significant rest before embarking on long drives and take breaks if needed. Next is drug use is a significant concern. Certain medication can cause drowsiness and impair cognition function. Always review the side effects of any medication you're taking and avoid driving if it makes you feel impaired. Alcohol consumption is another risk factor in preventing driving accidents. Plan ahead, have a sober driver, and use ride-share assistance. These steps can reduce the risk of alcohol-related crashes. Lastly, distraction. It is a huge rise with the advent of the cell phone, so stay focused on the road. Set your phone on Do Not Disturb mode and avoid multitasking while on the road. By addressing these factors, we can reduce the number of car crashes on our roadways. Man, it's tongue twister. Remember, 42,000 deaths on the road each year, with 94% of them human error, underlying the urgency of adapting these protective strategies. If you'd like to go in depth, there is another podcast of Peter Attia's at episode 295, and it's going to be included in the show notes. Again, thank you very much for your attendance and your attention today. Hopefully we can keep working together to age gracefully of one more week after this. And again, feel free to scan this if you feel like you need to have one-on-one sessions with me for an injury or diving into this topic a little bit more. Bye-bye.